All right, everybody, welcome to the capital raising workshop. And this is session one. Today, we're going to be talking mostly about social media and how to utilize social media for collecting investor leads. And maybe a little bit different than what you're probably used to hearing. I'm going to go over briefly what you've been told, and then I'm going to actually go over some things that you may or may not know, but that you need in order to, I don't want to say that you need it in place of everything you've been told, because eventually you'll start to raise capital as you build your presence. But there are things we can do to speed things along, and that's really what we're going to cover. And of course, utilizing automations to get all this done. So just some admin stuff. If you guys have questions as we're going through, please do not be afraid to stop me. Although I may use this material in the future, people that watch the recording will just have to deal with the commentary in between. It is what it is. I love to teach live, and I just don't like talking to a camera with nobody behind it. So I love the fact that I get interaction. It's better for me when we have interaction, and I know you guys are understanding or different things like that. So feel free to stop me and ask questions. And if you want to debate something, I love me some debate. So I'm all about debating. That doesn't mean argue. It's not an argument, it's a debate. Both sides could definitely be right, and we just have that conversation. So there is definitely room for that in a lot of this, especially depending on how you've grown up as a real estate investor and who you got your education from in the past. So any questions before we get started? This is going to be a long one today. I'm going to cover the education first. And then for those that are brand new to Acquisition Pro, we're going to do some onboarding on the backside. That way, those that don't need the onboarding, they can go, and I'll stick around for those that do need it at the end. So any questions before we get moving? For the 3 people that are on here. It's funny how people pay for things and then don't show up. It's crazy. All right. Well, let's get going then. So I'm going to minimize this and let's put that over there. So what are we going to cover during the workshop? So the workshop is going to go over the next 3 Saturdays. I'm going to try to limit us to an hour next Saturday, so I don't have to adjust the time for the reason that there is a launch that is happening 1 hour after we start the workshop next Saturday, and I want to be part of that launch. So I'm going to try to get done. I'm not going to rush it. If I'm late for the launch, I'm late for the launch. But next week we are going to try to keep it to an hour. So today we're going to talk about how to leverage LinkedIn and Facebook to generate qualified investor leads using automation and Acquisition Pro to do so. Next week, session 2 will be how to convert those investor leads using the automations inside Acquisition Pro. And then the third session will be how to use Acquisition Pro to modify existing landing pages to generate even more leads. And there's going to be some other things, like today you're going to see something thrown in that actually isn't on the agenda for today, but I threw it in there because for those that are willing and are ready to do it, you can really accelerate your lead generation process. So we'll be covering that. And then of course, before we end everything, we'll talk about what your next steps are and how to move you forward into the future. So today we're going to cover first the truth, and I kind of alluded to that before we started the recording. You've heard all these different things that you have to do to raise capital, and a lot of that is true. And we're going to go over a lot of that stuff briefly, but then there's a lot of things you're not being told. So we're going to cover those items, and that's really going to be the focus of this course, is the stuff you're not being told. How to leverage LinkedIn to generate leads. We're going to spend some time actually in LinkedIn, as well as some bullet points to get you moving. And we're going to talk about a tool that can help you generate leads automatically If you guys know me at all, you know I'm all about automation, and that's really what all this is about. How to leverage Facebook to generate leads. And again, same thing. I'm going to talk about a tool that can actually generate leads for you in an automated fashion and automatically add them to your CRM when you get a member that signs up for your Facebook groups. And then we will go into how to initially set up Acquisition Pro. So let's just consider that onboarding for those that need it. So the education first, then we'll go into the onboarding, finish with homework, and then have a Q&A session at the end. So this is going to be a long one today. So do your best to stay with me. All right, I need to get the chat up here. So if you guys have, and you can unmute and ask questions, or you can type it in the chat. I now have the chat window open, which I didn't a second ago. So, all right, let's talk about the truth. So here's what you've been told. Number one, start a podcast. So who can tell me who the most successful syndicator is and was able to leverage his success from his podcast? We should all know the answer to this.
Joe Fairless.
Absolutely, Joe Fairless. No debating that. And Joe taught a lot of other people to start podcasts to leverage their investor relations. And it's a great way to do it. I'm not disputing anything anybody's been told. Please don't take that. These are absolutely great things that you can do. Okay. It's just not enough. There are some other things that we can do that can accelerate the process. And that's really what the focus of this course is going to be. But I want to briefly go over every one of these things. Okay. So the other is to get on others' podcasts. I've been doing that some lately, not to try to raise capital or do anything like that. You guys know that I'm not active because of the upside down market that has not realigned itself yet, although we can start to see signs that that is starting to happen. So I'm not actively investing right now. So I have no reason to be raising capital. And I am getting on podcasts, though, when I get invited, if those podcasts align with what I'm doing with Acquisition Pro. And so for those that have been with me for a long time, you know, we've been strategic partnering forever. By forever, I just mean 2.5 years, because that's how old the company is. And I have since recently, like literally within the last 30 days, have started the rebranding process to Acquisition Pro. So the word needs to get out about Acquisition Pro. So I'm starting to hop back on the podcast circuit for that. I will not be starting my own podcast. I have a YouTube channel that I do enough stuff with, and I haven't even been on it for a while. So there are ways that you can create content, get yourself out there without actually having your own channels to do so. That's the point of getting on others' podcasts. Get in front of other people's audiences. I mentioned that, start a YouTube channel. I have my own. I'm not advocating that you have to start a YouTube channel, but there are successful syndicators that have started a YouTube channel and it has helped them grow their investor base. Create a meetup, either in person or virtual. We've seen it work both ways. There's quite a few groups around the country that do this, and they are successful with it. Attend other meetups, either virtual or in person, doesn't matter. Same thing. Now you're networking with other people's audiences and you can get the same result. It's a little harder to build that credibility and the presence of being the expert when you're attending others, but you're still networking and meeting with people and making them aware of who you are and what you are doing. Create social media groups, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook. Let's see. There's School, there's Mighty Networks, and you have to pay for some and some are free. I've done all of it. I've never created a LinkedIn group. I don't think LinkedIn groups are effective. Just my opinion, but I've created Facebook groups. I have an active Facebook group, an active school group, and an active Mighty Networks group. So kind of playing with all of it, see what works the best. And we're building a new community model that will be inside of Acquisition Pro. So hopefully for members, we can move everybody off of Mighty Networks and just bring them right inside Acquisition Pro, but that's a future thing. Post on other social media groups. This is really, really important because there are so many out there, and where it may take you time to build your own social media group, you can go post on other social media groups, show your expertise, show you care, even ask questions, and just get people to know who you are. So here's, well, let me, continuing on with what you're told. Build a website for credibility. Look, everybody, the biggest misunderstanding in real estate is that you have to have a website. Nobody cares if you have a website or not. All they care about is, can you help them? That's it. That's all anybody that does business with anybody else, all they want to know is what's in it for me. They could care less about your website. And I promise you, when everybody says, well, you have to have a way to show what you've done, they're not reading it. I don't care what you think. Trust me, they're not reading it. And every single person I have asked about how many leads have you gotten from your website, how much business have you done from your website, not one single person has been able to firmly identify that they ever got business from their website. I rest my case. And I ask this question all the time. And even though I provide a website template inside of Acquisition Pro, that doesn't mean you have to build a website, because you are going to have this thing in your head that you must have a website. That's fine. I now have it in my head, I must have a website for Acquisition Pro because it's a software. And I have this limiting belief that you can't sell software without a website. I operated for 12 years as a broker without a website. I operated for 2 years with strategic partnering without a website successfully. So why do I believe I need software to sell? Or why do I believe I need a website to sell software? I don't know. Maybe something will pull me away from that at some point, but at the moment I'm kicking, I'm screaming, I'm building, but I'm kicking and screaming doing it because I just, there's no place left really for people to read long form sales letters or get a bunch of information. They don't have the time for it anymore. So inside of Acquisition Pro, I've created this little template for you called a Linktree template, but it's not actually on Linktree. The template's built into our software so that you can create something that is interactive for people and it looks beautiful on a phone, because 80% of the people are looking at stuff on their phone these days. And now they can because really what they want to know is, how can I connect with you? So here, send me a text, or here, send me an email, or here, click on my calendar, or here, connect with me on Facebook, here, connect with me on LinkedIn, here, connect with me on Instagram or Twitter or anywhere else you want to do, or check out, if you have a website, check out my website here, boom, and send them over to that. But it's interactive, it's quick, they can look at it and they don't have to read anything, and boom, they can, whatever it is they're trying to reach out to you for, all right? And there's even a little form on there where if they want to download your sponsor vetting checklist, which is already built in, you already have it, then they can download that. Now you've collected a lead. Okay. So it's very powerful, but you've been told you have to have a website to build credibility. I'm raising the BS flag on that one. All right. But it's there if you want it. Start a blog. It can't hurt to start a blog. Kind of have to have a website to start a blog. Don't have to. You can use wordpress.org to start a blog. It would be a subdomain, but a blog is a way to get information out. Or be a guest blogger where you just, if you like writing or like writing articles, then you can be a guest blogger on somebody else's blog. Create a lead magnet, landing page, and thank you page. So now you're being told you got to have a lead magnet, you got to have a landing page, you got to have a thank you page. We're not going to tell you how to create the lead magnet, and we're not going to tell you what tools to use or how to build a landing page or how to put wording in it or what it needs to look like or any of that. Or they even don't even tell you about the thank you page. They just say lead magnet and thank you page and then leave you to figure it all out. Okay. Do you need it? Yes, you need it. But it's got to go deeper than that. So we're actually going to cover that. Matter of fact, it's already done for you. It's in the tool already. You don't even need to do anything with it. You might want to make it look a little nicer because it's really basic, but it fills its function. Somebody on your link tree fills out the form. They go and they can download that lead magnet and boom, they're added to your CRM. Once they're added to your CRM, now we start them on an automated email sequence. It all happens automatically. You don't have to do anything. Purchase an email service provider, CRM and calendar to collect and convert leads. And that's all they tell you. That's fine and dandy. You need every bit of it. The problem is, where do you get it? How does it all fit together? And how do we convert leads? Do we do it manually? Do we do it automatically? Nobody ever provides that kind of level of information. Or they say you can use ActiveCampaign and you can create automated email sequences, go YouTube it to figure it out or something like that. I'm not sure. There are some internet marketers out there that teach this kind of stuff, but you don't get it from the real estate community itself. What's his name? Hunter Thompson. Inside of his mastermind group he had, what was it called? Somebody help me out here. What's Hunter Thompson's mastermind group called? I was in it. You'd think I'd know it.
Raise Masters.
Raise Masters. So in Raise Masters, he touts that he's going to give you this email template and show you how to do all this stuff. It's the worst education I've ever seen on how to create any kind of automation or marketing. The template that he gives you is absolute junk. It's worthless. Unless you know copywriting, there's nothing you can do with that template. It means nothing. I was so disappointed when I saw that. So anyway, I'm not here to dog on anybody else. I'm just trying to prove a point that even the real estate people that say, we'll do this for you, what they're giving you is not effective and doesn't work. All right, continuing on what you've been told, write articles for e-zine. So all an e-zine is an electronic magazine. They called them e-zines a long time ago. I don't even think you can find them these days, but they're still article. I think they call them article networks now. And of course, on LinkedIn. Write an advertorial for CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, so you can get that credibility. And make no mistake, they may say write an article. You aren't getting an article approved on CNBC, Bloomberg, or Fox Business. They will take advertorials because you have to pay in order to get that article on those websites. That is called an advertorial. It is not called an article. Okay, it is an advertisement. And so, but then you get to say, as seen on CNBC or as seen on Bloomberg or Fox Business. You get that credibility. It is a credibility builder. I'm not telling you not to do this. This is another way to build your credibility for finding passive investors. This is an old one. Hold lunch and learns. Not too many people do this anymore because of the old SEC rules. Since they've updated the SEC rules, I'm surprised these have not come back because there's now guidance on lunch and learns specifically. But I haven't seen them come back. Has anybody else seen the lunch and learns come back where somebody goes and rents a conference room at a hotel and invites a whole bunch of people, provides them lunch, and on the way out the door, they fill out an investor questionnaire? Anybody seen anyone do that in the last 5 or 6 years? Really in the last 2 years, because that's when the updates came out. Yeah, me neither. So it's interesting that those haven't come back. But the SEC has provided guidance to us now where we can hold them. And now we know exactly what we need to do in order to stay in compliance, etc. Okay, so obviously this isn't an exhaustive list. It could keep going. Now, here's the problem with all of it. create a podcast. What are you going to talk about? They'll give you an idea. They'll even give you some ways of maybe some cameras to use or some microphones or, how to get on Spotify or Apple or Google or any of these podcasting platforms. So they'll give you all that piece of information. But what do you do when you're on the podcast? That's the most important. They kind of skip that part. Okay. What do you guys think is the most important part about being on a podcast?
It's your message.
It's more than that, though, Kareem. Yeah, Mike's got it. Call to action. You got to have a call to action. Why get in front of these people if you're not going to try to drive them to something that will get you to be able to collect their information? Okay. Yes, you're in front of this huge audience if you're on somebody else's podcast. But if you don't have a way to collect their contact information, because I guarantee you that the podcaster that owns the podcast, he's not giving you his contact list. You have to have a way for them to be able to reach you. So you have to have these tools in place, have these automations in place so that when they do come to that landing page, when you give them that URL and they put in their name and email address, that now we can follow up with them and have a follow-up process. So now that we've generated a lead, we have to be able to convert that lead. And for passive investors, that initial conversion takes place at holding an appointment. That second conversion takes place when they fill out a investor questionnaire. And that third level of conversion takes place when they provide a soft commitment. Okay. And then of course, when you get a deal, they actually invest. So we have these levels of conversion, but it all starts with getting that lead first, right? So every one of these are correct. Every one of these are good to do. But if you do not have the tools in place to be able to start that conversion event right away, you're wasting your time. Yeah, you're building, and I wouldn't say you're wasting your time. You're taking the long way to get there. Yes, you're building credibility. You're getting people to know you, like you, and trust you. Over time, they will eventually invest with you, but you've got to be able to throw some call to actions in front of them with systems in place that can convert them all the way to a soft commitment, okay? So here's what you're not told. You're not taught how to write content that evokes emotion. That's called copywriting. I'm not saying I'm a great copywriter. I am not. I have been studying copywriting for 12 to 15 years. I have all kinds of books on how to write copy and how to evoke emotion, and sales is all part of copywriting. But if you do not say the right thing, people are not going to take action. So it isn't a matter of creating a landing page and a lead magnet. You've got to know exactly what to say on that page that will invoke them to give you their contact information. The lead magnet itself isn't enough. How to create calls to action that will convert clicks into leads. This is really important with social media. And if you're running ads, either one of those two, how do we create that call to action that's going to get them to click so that they will go to our landing page, give us their contact information, and get them into our CRM, which now can start the follow-up process and convert them. How about how to create a lead magnet that's valuable? You hear all the time, got to create a lead magnet, got to create a lead magnet. Everybody says ebook. I'm telling you right now, you create an ebook, you won't get any freaking leads. Nobody is reading ebooks. They may download it because they like you. They're not going to read it. So if you're putting call to actions in the ebook and expect them to convert through the ebook, that is not going to happen. I don't know one single person that has ever downloaded the ebook and read the whole stinking thing. Have any of you that have downloaded ebooks ever read the whole thing, or even the first section of it? Or did it just go into digital dust? Yeah, Exactly. Digital dust. Okay. So it's got to be actionable, something they can use. A one pager, a checklist, a framework, a tool, a calculator, something like that, something that they can utilize. That's valuable. They'll actually use something like that. All right. So that's why I eliminated this roadblock and I've given you my sponsor vetting checklist. It's already in the system. You don't even have to worry about it. It comes off of my server. So when somebody fills out the form, whether it's on the landing page that we created or it's on your link tree that you can modify and make your own, that form is already there. They fill out that form. It automatically takes them to a download page where they can download it, and it starts an automated email sequence to lead them to having an appointment with you so that you can qualify them and eventually get them to that soft commitment. Okay, it's already there. So I've eliminated that. Through this process, you will learn how to do all of this on your own. I just wanted to make sure that you had it to start with. How to convert leads that download the lead magnet into soft commitments. That's all part of that follow-up process using all these automations. I'm going to show you at the end of all this a way to even make this faster. But in order to do what I'm going to show you, you're going to have to make yourself available. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. And then how to use automation to your benefit. Okay. So these are the things you're not told. You're told everything else. You got to do all this stuff. But I'm not going to help you do any of that stuff. You got to figure it out on your own. Okay. So what you see on this page, this is what we're going to cover in this course. This is the stuff you need more than the rest of that stuff. All right. Once you've got this in place, now you can go out and do the rest of those things to bring traffic to our automated process. Make sense? Yes or yes? Oh, if you guys don't talk to me, I'll slow down.
Sounds good.
There we go. See, I
Excited.
love interaction. You gotta make sure I know you're there. Otherwise, I think I'm just talking to a camera and I may turn it off and go have lunch or something. All right. Let's talk about leveraging LinkedIn. Here we are 30 minutes into it, and we're just now getting to the meat of the content. How about that? I told you today's going to be a long day. 2 hours, but still, that's long. All right, leveraging LinkedIn. LinkedIn is used for outreach. It is not used for presence building. Now, you can write articles and make posts and do different things like that to build presence and expertise on LinkedIn, but it is better served for doing outreach. It is a prospecting tool. It is a B2B prospecting tool. In the case of finding passive investors, it's really considered B2C because you're reaching out to individuals to invest with you. That's business to consumer. Even though it's for a business venture, it's still considered B2C. But we still use LinkedIn for this because those type of people, depending on who your target market is probably going to be on LinkedIn. Okay, so first thing you got to do is you need to optimize your personal profile for business. Okay, if you're a nurse practitioner and your LinkedIn profile is all about you being a nurse practitioner and you have nothing in there about real estate investing, you need to do one of two things. You either need to start adding things about you also being a real estate investor for multifamily or whatever it is you want to do, or you need to create a new LinkedIn account and make that LinkedIn account specific for your real estate business. Either way works. And if your target market is doctors, I would probably recommend you just go ahead and keep your nurse practitioner LinkedIn account and just add to it because it will give you credibility with your target market. If your target market is completely different than what you do, you may be better suited creating a new LinkedIn account. Does that make sense? I didn't hear you. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Ah, there we go. I'm telling you guys, you got to participate. Rebecca, you know this. You've been in my 102 class. You've got to participate. Business page, same thing, optimized for your brand. Okay. You don't have to have a business page unless you're going to run advertisements. Now, everybody has probably heard the same thing I've heard for the last 5 years. Don't run ads on LinkedIn. It's too expensive. Don't run ads on LinkedIn. You can't target right. Don't run ads on LinkedIn. Don't run ads on LinkedIn. Don't run ads. I can't tell you how many times I've heard LinkedIn ads don't work. LinkedIn ads are cost prohibitive. I ran 2 ad campaigns recent. Well, for the master class that we did to launch this workshop, I ran 2 ads, one on Google search, one on LinkedIn. I figured I'd try it for the first time. Google search cost me $3.13 per click. I did get a few leads. LinkedIn cost me 78 cents a click. 78 cents a click. And I got quite a few leads from LinkedIn. In what world is that the most expensive advertising you've ever seen? And something else about LinkedIn advertising, you can target LinkedIn groups. So people that are in LinkedIn groups or people that would be more suited to fit into those groups, you can target that audience. You can't do that in Facebook. There are no Google groups, so you can't do that in Google or YouTube. That is extremely powerful. I had a blast for the 5 days that I tested that ad campaign. I think I spent $90 in 5 days. I had a blast learning what I learned about LinkedIn. Unbelievable. I cannot believe I listened to the masses. I tell you guys all the time, don't be followers, be students. That was the one time I was being the follower. Nobody else was doing it, so why would I do it? Ha! I was a fool. That's all I can say. LinkedIn Navigator. Now, right now you guys are saying, no, it costs money. It does. And I apologize. You don't have to have LinkedIn Navigator to be successful on LinkedIn, but let me tell you, it will absolutely frickin' make your life easier. It will help because in LinkedIn Navigator, you can create lists of leads based on keywords. And you're thinking to yourself, well, why do we need that? Because then Linked Helper can scrape those lists and all those profiles and build relationships, connect with, send automated messages for you. So Linked Helper is the automation inside of LinkedIn that you've been looking for. Some of you have made me or may have heard of me talk about Linked Helper in the past. I've done a couple of trainings on Linked Helper. Linked Helper is very, very, very affordable. I pay $297 a year for a tool that does all my prospecting on LinkedIn for me. Okay. I'm going to show you some numbers here shortly. I think you'll be pretty impressed with the doggone numbers. Okay. One of the numbers is really low, but that's my fault. It's not Linked Helper's fault. It's my fault. And I'll tell you why when I get there. All right. So I know I'm throwing some stuff at you that has costs. LinkedIn Navigator is like $79 a month. And Linked Helper is $297 a year if you pay for it yearly. You could pay for it monthly, you could pay for it quarterly, or you could pay for it yearly. And you get a 14-day free trial when you start it. Okay. And it is extremely easy to set up. I didn't know anything about Linked Helper. A friend of all of ours, we all know Trevor Thompson, turned me on to Linked Helper. He had heard about it. I went and checked it out. I started the free trial within 1 hour of being on YouTube with Linked Helper's YouTube channel. I had my first campaign running within 1 hour. It's easy to use. It looks hard, but it is not. It is easy to use. It automates your prospecting efforts. It's easy to set up and it acts like a human because if you know LinkedIn, LinkedIn does not allow bots on their channel or they will ban your account. So what Linked Helper does is it acts like you. So it will go in, it will pull up a profile, it will actually search for the profile manually. It does it, not you. It then connects, hits the connect button. It then adds the note you want it to add. And then it goes and it does the next one. And it waits a couple of seconds before it starts the next thing. I can actually move faster than Linked Helper does, but they do that specifically so it acts like a human. The key to that is that you're not on LinkedIn doing all of the same stuff Linked Helper's doing, or you could flag LinkedIn. So don't do that. Let Linked Helper do its thing if you decide you want to use Linked Helper. So what I want to do is, and I'm going to be honest about this because you guys know me, I'm fully transparent on everything I do. I want to provide you with a link if you want to use Linked Helper. And I don't get paid for this link, but if you do purchase Linked Helper, I get a free month. So it'll help me out in that respect. But you're going to get my support on it. So I don't feel bad asking you to do that. All right. So here are my numbers. So I ran a campaign to real estate brokers, commercial real estate brokers. This is when I was doing my broker to consultant coaching that I had this epiphany that I wanted to do. And I exclusively used LinkedIn. I had started a Facebook group, but I didn't get a lot of traction with it. So I primarily used LinkedIn to get my leads for the strategic consultant method. So I sent out Linked Helper sent out 2,978 connection attempts. I didn't. Linked Helper did. 1,208 accepted that connection. Okay. So this isn't like multifamily. There's a lot of people that know my name in multifamily. There's people that talk about me good and bad. And so these commercial real estate brokers, other than having those 4 little letters after my name, CCIM, they have no clue who I am. Most commercial real estate brokers stay within their own little markets. So the fact that I got a 40.1% connection ratio was huge. And I didn't have to do any of it. All I did was set it up. Let Linked Helper do the whole thing. 231 of the 1,208 responded via direct message. That's 19%. Again, huge numbers. I didn't do anything yet. They're now responding to me. Again, all I did was turn it on and turn it off every single day. That's it. Linked Helper got those folks to respond to me via direct message. So after they connected with me, Linked Helper would then go in and would send them a message after a small period of time. That message was a value proposition. At the bottom of the value proposition was a link to download my Know Your Numbers calculator. You guys think I know anything about numbers? Showing it right in front of you. So how to teach them how to determine how many calls they need to make on a daily basis based on their goals. I had created a worksheet for that. I called it the Know Your Numbers calculator. 3.9% of 1,208 people, because 1,208 people who connected with me saw that message. So 3.9% of 1,208 clicked that link. Now, here is the one, and that's incredible. 3.9%. We like to see between 2 and 5%. If you're running ads, you want a 2 to 5% click-through rate. Then you've got a great click-through rate. Anything less than 2%, you need to fix your ad. Or landing page. No, it's your ad. You need to fix your ad. Here is the bad thing. I only had an 11.1% opt-in rate. That's my fault, because now they're off LinkedIn. They clicked, Linked Helper did its job. 3.9% of the people clicked on that link. Then I failed. because I only had an 11.1% opt-in rate. That means my landing page that they came to did not respond to them as well as my value proposition did. So they got to the landing page, saw something they didn't like, and they left. But 11.1% still opted in. So now at this point, I'm generating leads from LinkedIn with the use of Linked Helper. And I spent maybe 2 hours in this whole process. Not bad, is it? Okay. This is the #1 automation tool for LinkedIn. So I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Can you run your business without it? Yes, you can. But it will accelerate anything you're doing because this allows you to do other things. Outside of Linked Helper, this was before Linked Helper, when I started identifying that LinkedIn was a huge resource for finding multifamily business, I was doing what Linked Helper was doing for me manually every single day, where I'd go in and I would put in keywords, real estate investor, syndicator, sponsor, you name it. And I was manually clicking the connect, and adding a note every single time. So I was spending 2-3 hours, about 2 hours a day in my LinkedIn prospecting, which led to 350 plus Zoom meetings from February 2021 to August 2021. I had not held 350 meetings in my entire career, and I did 350 in 7 months. Okay. All because of LinkedIn. So you do not need Linked Helper to do the work for you. You can do it on your own, but leverage a tool that is very, very, very affordable and let it do the work for you. That's my point. Any questions about LinkedIn? You guys want to see what Linked Helper looks like?
Hell yeah.
Yes,
right.
please.
Yes, please.
So this is Linked Helper. It kind of starts here where you connect your LinkedIn account. Once you've connected your LinkedIn account, there's a little play button and that'll open this other one. It is a desktop software. Okay. Another reason why it stays away from being a bot, because it's not online and scraping things. It's acting like a human. All right. So here is that same campaign. Now, these numbers are inaccurate because I've been running some other things and it's gone through some processes, but I'll show you what the actual whole campaign looked like and you'll recognize those numbers. If I wanted to start this now, it won't right now because I'm outside working hours, because you can set your working hours. So I set it from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It will not run outside of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So again, it looks like a human is doing it. The other thing I set it for is to only connect to 50 people a day. LinkedIn limits you to how many people you can connect with a day. If you have a free account, it's a much smaller number. If you have a pro account, you get a little bit more. If you have Navigator, you get a little bit more. They will tell you that it's somewhere around 100 a week. But from all the prospecting I've been doing on LinkedIn, and whether I was doing it manually or whether I was using Linked Helper, I'm getting about 220 to 240 connections a week being allowed by LinkedIn. So what happens is when Linked Helper reaches that limit, when LinkedIn says, okay, you've hit your limit, it just stops for the week. And I'm only a few shy of that 50 a day anyway, because I only run it Monday through Friday. So it has worked exceptionally well for me. Okay. And I can sit here and navigate on LinkedIn right now. Now, when you're running a campaign, you can't, because Linked Helper is doing it. So it's literally got your account in here. I can go in here and do whatever I want inside my LinkedIn account. All right. But if I go to the workflows, you will see there's 291 currently waiting. 2,978 has been processed. That means that Linked Helper has sent connection attempts to 2,978 people. Of those, 45 were not good profiles. 1,208 said, we accept and connected with me. 1,500 did not. So after it connects, it starts to view extracted profiles and sends messages to the ones that are first connection. So 1,163 got sent this one. Of that 1,163, 42 had already responded. So of the ones that connected, 42 had already responded. So it will not send my value proposition to these 42, because as soon as somebody responds, the campaign stops, because now they're direct messaging you. It's time for you to take over the process and get them to whatever your goal is for doing this. In this case, for me, it was to get them either on my email list or get an appointment with them. Either way, if they schedule an appointment with me, they were automatically put on my email list. So I got them on my email list regardless. Then it would check for replies after sending the first connection. And if we look here, here's that first connection. And you can see right here that there is a landing page. That landing page was that Know Your Numbers calculator. Okay. So of the 1,163 that saw the first message, 124 responded. So once those reply, now the number goes down because now only 990 move forward. Okay, then it messages first connections again. And of those 982, 65 replied. Okay, and then I only have the 2. And on this one, it just sends them to my homepage. Okay, so I really can't run numbers on a homepage because there's other ways you can get to my homepage. I can track my numbers on a landing page because this was the only place you could get that landing page, where here anybody can go to the homepage. So I wasn't really able to track numbers for that. But this is how easy this is to set up. And if you start a new campaign, it literally walks you through all of this. All you need to know is, what note do I want to send? So here's the note I send them when you invite second and third connections. And then what message do you want to send them the first time? What message do you want to send them the second time? And you can keep going. You don't have to stop at 2 messages. You can make this a 5, 7, 9 week. And I have them delay 7 days in between each message. Okay. So this is an automated process. This is an incredible tool. You can even go in and create like campaigns, meaning that Linked Helper will go to all of your contacts and like posts in the last 30 days from those contacts. It can even respond to posts through a comment. That one's a little more difficult to do. I've never used that one. I do know a few people that have used the like campaigns and they really like them. Is Akash on here? I know Akash likes that like campaign. He's not on here. He jumped in really early, but then I noticed he left. Akash really likes using the like campaigns for what he's doing, and he's a capital raiser. Okay. So that's Linked Helper. All right. Very, very powerful tool. Any questions about LinkedIn or Linked Helper? All right. Facebook. Facebook's a bit different because with LinkedIn, we're prospecting, we're doing outreach. With Facebook, now we're presence building. We're building that likability, that trust. We're getting people to reach out to us now. Okay. We can still do some lead generation within Facebook, but the primary purpose of Facebook is to get people to know who we are. Okay, so you want to optimize your personal profile, again, for business. Facebook does allow you to have more than one profile. So if your profile, again, let's go back to the nurse practitioner, if your profile is all about your college you went to and your high school buddies and friends and the people that you hang out with on the weekends, and some stuff about you being a nurse practitioner and your work and some work events and stuff like that, and there's nothing on it about your real estate, again, if your target market is nurse practitioners or your friends and family, then start to build it out within that profile. Otherwise, go create a new profile and leverage that profile for your real estate business. Okay, you can have two profiles. It's a little hard to manage two profiles on one computer. It's better to utilize, I have two profiles, although I've not touched that other profile in 2 years because I don't need it. This was, was going to do something else a couple of years ago, a side hustle, and decided against that with very good reason, thank God. But that Facebook profile is still available. It was hard to manage between the two. So I had to have two different computers to do it because Facebook makes it difficult for you to jump back and forth. But you can do it. Business page. Again, if you're not going to advertise, you don't need a business page. Same in LinkedIn. If you're not going to advertise, you don't need a business page. I'd say that a business page is more important on LinkedIn than it is on Facebook. Nobody goes to business pages anymore on Facebook. They used to. 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, people went to Facebook pages because we didn't have groups. But when Facebook created groups and groups took off, that's where everybody hangs out, is in groups. So because we have groups, you do not need a business page unless you're going to advertise. If you're going to advertise, you must have a business page. Just optimize it for your brand. Don't worry about posting to it, monitoring it, any of it. You only need it for advertising, but you want it optimized for your brand in case anybody jumps over there and sees it. All right. It's really easy to do.
David,
Yes. Go ahead, George.
quick question, sir. So like you're saying, if I'm going to be advertising listings, leases that I have available for my business, would you still put the business page up like you were mentioning, or just stick to LinkedIn since that's kind of more of a
Where's your target market, George?
Southern California?
No. What platform is your target market on? LinkedIn or Facebook?
It's on LinkedIn.
So why would you even touch Facebook ads?
Just to have more exposure, be out there.
Just to spend more money is what you meant to say?
Well, exactly. Don't want to sound stupid like always.
No, that's not sounding stupid. People don't realize that.
Okay.
You should never spend money on advertising that you don't know isn't going to work. If you don't know whether it's going to work or not, do not spend a dime on advertising.
But even though you could probably 1 or 2 deals, or maybe just one, could pretty much pay for that subscription for that year, or
If your target market is not on Facebook, then how are they even going to see it?
okay. That's my question. Thank you, David.
Yeah. Okay. I will get into advertising at some point. We're going to cover a second or two of it today. But you guys, I see people all the time. Oh, I got to test my offer, so I'm going to run ads. No, that's not how you test an offer. You test an offer through your social media channels. You do it through organic so that you can figure out and modify and adjust. And then once you know what your KPIs are, now we can run ads because now we have a budget. Now we know exactly what we can spend and what result we're going to get. Until you know that, you never run ads. Please don't run ads to run ads. You're going to have people that are going to try to tell you you need to run ads because they want you to pay them to run ads. Okay? Take it from somebody who's been running ads for more than 15 years on these social channels. Do not run ads if you have never tested your offer. Now, there's exceptions to that. We'll get into that when we get there. Oh, back to Facebook group. We didn't get there yet. So Facebook groups, I talk about them all the time. I have 2 of them. Actually, I have 3 of them. One of them I shut down, getting ready to shut down the other one so that we only have the multifamily investing strategies for beginners. But then I'm going to create a new one for Acquisition Pro. Just not ready to create it yet. Getting there, just not there yet. So your Facebook is for creating community. Why do we care about creating community? Somebody answer that question for me.
Be more exposed.
Okay. Yes, but there's more to it than that.
Familiarity and trust.
Yeah. Get people to know us, like us, and trust us, right? So we want to build community for that. People do not do business with people they don't know, like, and trust. So that's what our communities are for. Now, I've been leveraging my Facebook group for multifamily investing strategies for beginners for almost 2 years now. And it's done well. It's plateaued because we were running ads to it for a while. We haven't run ads to it in a long time. So it's kind of plateaued, about 4,400 people in there. And I've kind of wore them out. I was providing a lot of value. Lately, it's just been a lot of call to action. So you'll see this here in a little bit. Don't overwhelm your Facebook group with call to actions. There are other ways to pull the people from Facebook into your database rather than just call to actions all the time. There are a time and place for call to actions, but you need to bring in a lot of value on top of that. So one of those ways to bring them in automatically, and this is another paid tool, sorry, but it is an automation. It's a Google Chrome extension called GroupKit. I've been using it for 2 years. It is solely responsible for 80% of the leads I've gotten from Facebook. So GroupKit automates your lead generation efforts. Again, it's extremely easy to set up, and it adds contacts to your Facebook group and CRM. So what it does is you get a Google Chrome extension. It's a premium extension. It's I don't know what the monthly fee is. I think it might be $30 or $40 a month, but you can pay for it on an annual basis, or it may be more than that, because I know if you pay for it on an annual basis, you get 4 months free. And it's like $300, because I just renewed. It's like $347 for the year. So I highly recommend doing it on an annual basis because you're going to want GroupKit. Now, here's the beauty of GroupKit, and I didn't realize this until very recently. One of the things that attracted me to GroupKit was that it APIs directly into Kartra, and you guys have known I've used Kartra for years, since they were first created in 2018, and that's where my CRM has primarily been. And so I could, as soon as somebody would fill out the questionnaire, you have 3 questions you could put in your group. One of those questions is, what is your biggest challenge in real estate for multifamily? Second question is, we always provide great value. If we have something that would interest you, what is your email address so we can send it to you? And third is, do you want us to reach out to you through direct message? If they put their email address in, then it automatically added that contact to my CRM, my database. And now I could create a follow-up campaign that could follow up with them. All right. Well, I was doing some playing around because now that I have Acquisition Pro, which is built on high level, I went and looked at GroupKit, and sure enough, GroupKit integrates directly with high level, which means it interconnects and integrates with Acquisition Pro. So big deal. Automates the process, because the question gets asked all the time, how in the world do we get people out of social media and on our email list? There's 3 types of traffic. I didn't create this. A guy named Russell Brunson kind of put this together, and this is really the owner of ClickFunnels, best marketer on the planet. Russell says you have 3 types of traffic. You have traffic you earn. Okay, so that's your traffic from LinkedIn, Facebook. This is traffic you earn. You have traffic you buy. That's Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads. And then you have traffic you control. Now, what do you think traffic you control is? Nobody knows the answer to this? What's traffic you control? Your email list. So you can provide a message to your email list and you're in control of who sees it and who doesn't. You're not in control on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on Instagram and in Twitter. You have no control. If Facebook could shut you down in 2 seconds, you lose your entire email list or your entire audience. Okay. But if you have an email list, that's yours. That is your asset. It becomes an asset. Okay. Your Facebook community, your Instagram community, and this goes for all these influencers. If they ever get banned from these social media platforms, if they have not been collecting leads, and I'm sure most of them do, but if they have not been collecting leads, they're toast. They're out of business. Okay, I don't care how many followers they had. Facebook decided we don't want them here anymore. Their 2 million followers are gone. Okay, Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram, shuts them down, boom, gone. But if they did not get them on their email list, they wasted their time. Okay. The email list is the most valuable thing in your business. When Facebook bought Instagram, what were they purchasing?
Like the contact list, right? Subscribers.
Yeah, the list. Yes, the database. Facebook didn't need a way to create images. They already knew how to create images. They didn't need another image tool. They wanted the database. No other reason. They wanted the database. Anytime anybody buys a business, they're buying the database. That's the most valuable asset. I can't pound that enough. Okay. Your email list, like Mike says, is golden. Okay. It is the center of your entire business. All right. So 80 plus or minus % of members in my Facebook group are in my CRM from GroupKit. The remaining 20% plus or minus are enticed with value. So you guys will see in that Facebook group where I will put up a free masterclass registration, a free meetup registration, or download a free tool or checklist. But here's the key. You must provide value and not just hit your members with calls to action all the time. All right. You've got to send them value. So let me jump out for a second. Let's see. And let's jump into Facebook so I can show you. I don't know if I have anybody. It'd be great if there is. Let this come up. On Zoom, things slow down tremendously. Matter of fact, one of the reasons it's slow is because this is up. So let me close GroupKit. Or not GroupKit, Linked Helper. That'll help the speed a little bit. Okay, and it doesn't look like I got anybody waiting in the wings. Come on. Oh, work with me here, computer. Don't slow me now, because when we get to onboarding, that's not going to be good. Yeah, it doesn't look like we got anybody waiting in the wings. Oh, we do. Yay. All right, so I have a member request. So I come here. All right, so they did not fill out all 3 questions. Okay, so what I do is, this guy just joined about a year ago. He's in 17 groups in common, so it looks like it's some multifamily stuff. That's good. I'll look and make sure there aren't a whole bunch of crypto stuff on the other groups. And as long as it's at least a year ago, I'll approve them. But notice that my GroupKit is not live at the moment, which is interesting. So if I come here and I go to GroupKit Cloud, I'm not logged in. Is this on incognito? It might be. That might be why. All right, hold on. Oh, I didn't want to close that. Oh, I just got rid of what we were going to do for onboarding. Wasn't that nice? All right, so if I come over here, Sorry about the slight delay. Back to member requests. I don't know why I was in incognito. That was weird. Didn't need to be. Oh my goodness, this thing is moving slow. Really want to show you what GroupKit looks like here. I'm not logged in at all. Uh-oh. I don't know what my login is for it. Uh-oh. It might be, oh yeah, I'm toast here. This didn't turn out good. What's going on here? It's like it knew I was going to do a meeting today and now it's, all right. So let me look. Does it have my login information here? Oh, it does. Okay. So it is that one. Yep. That should be right. Oh, doggone. Uh-oh. Well, what are you going to do? Where is the forgot login? Ah, love it. All right. Well, I was going to show you GroupKit, but I'll have to show it to you on a different day. Anyway, this would have turned into a different icon where I could have approved it. Now, Alan would not get added to my database because his email address isn't here. There's 3 questions they ask. I told you what the 3 questions are. If the email's here, they get added to the database. If they don't answer any questions and they don't agree to group rules, I just decline them. But that's how I do that. All right. Can't show you GroupKit today. I got to go figure out what my login is. I don't know why it logged me out. I was just in it a day or 2 ago. All right. So continuing leveraging Facebook group, you can also leverage other people's Facebook groups. And you got to be careful creating posts on other people's groups. Some groups will allow it, some won't. Interesting thing is, though, in the real estate world, there are a lot of groups that will allow you to post in their group. In the internet marketing world, it is almost nobody allows you to post in their groups. I mean, nobody. It's weird, the difference. But internet marketing is sell, 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 sell. And real estate's relationship. So you can kind of see that comparison. Answer and ask questions. Okay, you can either do that through a post or you can do it through comments. Show your expertise and build trust with people. All right, so you don't have to have your own group. I would recommend at some point you create your own group, but until you do, go leverage other groups so that you could still create value. Be very, very careful putting links in to other people's groups. There are some I've identified that weaken, and make no mistake, it's spamming their groups. And I go in and I spam a few groups, but they allow me to do it. And as long as they allow me to do it, I'll do it. But for the ones that are actually building a good group for themselves and then they're monitoring it and they are moderating it properly, you'll get banned from the group really quick if you start putting links in there. Connect with your target market. So while you're in these groups, somebody likes a post you did or likes a comment you made or responds, send them a friend request, connect with them, especially if they're in your target market. Because once you do, now you can invite them to your Facebook group. Now, caveat, if you invite somebody to your Facebook group, and you can only invite people on your friends list, you can't invite anybody else. So if you invite people to your Facebook group, you will bypass GroupKit by doing invitations. So there's that caveat on GroupKit. You can also DM them for building deeper relationships once you've connected with them. Do not cold DM someone that is not a connection. One, they're not going to see the DM in the first place. It goes up into a little tiny folder in the very top of the page that says response requests or connection requests or something. I don't remember what it's called, but that's like the spam folder for people that are not your friends that have tried to direct message you. They go up into a folder in the ether. So just don't do it. Same with LinkedIn. Get the connection first, and then you can start to DM them. All right. Any questions about Facebook? So again, sorry about GroupKit. It's technology. It happens. Okay. Then let's talk about that bonus strategy I was talking about. It's kind of a hint of what's in this picture. I created that. That's mine. So let's go back out. Now I got to go log back into it because it got closed when I closed the other window. So this is, oh, I'll tell you where I can go. I got to go here anyway. Let's go into Acquisition Pro. For me, I log in through Go High Level. For you guys, you log in through Acquisition Pro. And you'll notice if I come down here, I have this, what's called a funnel simulator. So if I click on that, and I come back into my tool and I click on it again, well, it brings us to the same thing. I've got this ad campaign that I created. So this is for if you're ready, willing, and able to run ads. All right. This is a campaign that I've created that I know works. And I've put in very, very, very conservative numbers. I mean, like if you're not converting at these numbers at any of these, something is seriously wrong with your messaging. Okay. And I've even got the landing page extremely low at 20%. Okay. So we can adjust anywhere in here and figure out what's broken. This is called a simulator. So what we've done here is we've taken LinkedIn and Facebook and we've told them we want 1,000 visitors for LinkedIn and we want 750 visitors from Facebook on a monthly basis. Okay. We want to send them to this ad. Here is our primary headline. Are you seeing a lot of multifamily opportunities to invest in, but you don't know who to trust? Download our free sponsor vetting checklist. Okay, that's just a headline. There's more you got to put in an ad, but that's the crux of it. So we send them, if they click on the ad, we send them to this landing page. If they opt in, and this is saying 20% of them will opt in, if they opt in and give you the name, email, and phone number, then they'll get the download page, which will then allow them to download the sponsor vetting checklist. Those that, there's also a link at the bottom to schedule an appointment with you. 1%, I'm saying, will make an appointment with you right away and click that button. The rest are going to go to an email sequence that is going to move them to scheduling an appointment with you. After they opt in, even before they download, or maybe even after, they're also going to get an SMS text and says, hey, did you download your thing? If they respond to the text, which is that why, we're going to lead them again towards scheduling an appointment with us. For the remaining of the people, this is what is called a fast 5 response, meaning that in Acquisition Pro, it is going to wait 2 minutes. If they do not respond to the text within 2 minutes, it's going to call you. Acquisition Pro, the tool, is actually going to call you on your phone. You're going to look at it and go, wait a minute, that's my phone number. What the heck is this? You're going to answer it. And it is going to say, David Monroe has just downloaded the quick value checklist or the sponsor vetting checklist, and they have not responded via SMS yet. Do you want to call them? If you do, press any key on your phone. If you want to talk to that prospect, you push a key on the phone. If you do not want to talk to the prospect, you just hang up. If you press the key on the phone, the system will automatically dial the prospect. And if they answer, you can have a conversation with them. If they do not answer, you just hang up. Because whether you didn't want to call them because you're busy, so you just hang up or don't know what to say, so you just hang up, or you didn't get them and you just hang up, the system is then going to send them a ringless voicemail. Okay. Then for those, we're saying here, 2% that get the ringless voicemail will respond back. They'll either respond by SMS or they will rephone you. If they are responding to that voice message, there's motivation there. So the call to action or the conversion rate is higher here because they're obviously reaching out to you for a reason now. Something you said in this ringless voicemail has triggered them to call you or text you. Now we have a 40% chance to get them on a calendar appointment. Once we've got them on a calendar appointment, 70% of them will show up. And then if they've made it this far for capital raising, you don't have this high of a conversion rate with anything else, but with capital raising, if you've made it this far and you're in a Zoom meeting with them, you have a 70% chance of getting to a soft commitment at that point. Then we move them over here and we're saying that 75% of them will actually give you a soft commitment. The other 25% are going to change their mind. Okay, so that's what this funnel says. Now, here's what's cool about the calculator. Remember I said 1,000 people from LinkedIn, 750 from Facebook. What I'm saying here is that 1,000 people is going to cost you $1.50 per click, per visitor at LinkedIn, and Facebook is going to cost you $2 per visitor. So knowing those two pieces of information and how many people are coming here, if I click simulate, watch this. What that just said is that of the 1,750 people that show up to this page, 350 of them will opt in. Of those 350, 3 will make an appointment right away, and then the rest will go through this funnel, getting you to a total of 40 appointments scheduled. Of the 40 appointments scheduled, 28 people will show up. Of the 28 people, 21 will give you soft commitments. If your soft commitments average $50,000 per soft commitment, you just raised $1,050,000 in a 1 month period. This is how you accelerate your capital raising needs. And it only costs you $3,200 to get there, or $3,525. The reason it's $3,525 is because I've put in here $25 for a bank transfer fee. If they're transferring you $50,000, there's a $25 fee. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay. Pretty neat stuff, isn't it? Look for more to come out on this in the future. All right. But this is, I have not added this calculator to any, or this simulator to anybody's account yet. Like I said, if you look down here, it's in mine, but you've got to be ready, willing, and able to run ads before I add it, because this is a big cost to me. The other thing I have in here is what's called advertising AI, which allows you, this is like hugely powerful. Another one that's going to play with me here. And I already have it closed. I'm not going to try to log into it. This allows you to create Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google search, Google network, and YouTube ads utilizing AI. So literally in less than 5 minutes, you're running ads to any one of those networks through this system. Again, it's another one of those tools that I'm spending a lot of money on. So it's not in anybody's account yet until they're absolutely ready, willing, and able to run ads. All right. So you won't see these two down there, but know it is coming very, very, very soon when you are ready. So that is the bonus strategy. Any questions on that? What'd you guys think?
Yeah, that's very cool, David. Thank you.
Okay. So that's what the power of automation does. You don't, until you either get this phone call. Now, the caveat here is that you have to be available for this. For this to work, you've got to be available. So for Mary, Mary's not that available. Mary's probably not running ads. For everybody else, maybe you are, but you've got to be available for this strategy using the Fast Five. Okay. You can, these numbers would become a little lower, but you can still run ads and be automated all the way up to holding the Zoom meeting. You can automate it all the way to this point where it doesn't need you at all. Where it does need you in this case is if you get this phone call and you have to call them. What you could do though, Mary Lou, is instead of having it ring you, it just goes straight to ringless voicemail. So if they don't respond to that text, you send them a ringless voicemail. And so it just does the same thing. Only difference is you're not involved in that process. It's not quite as powerful as you being able to contact that lead, but it still adds another layer of a touch point. Make sense? Easily modifiable too. Easy stuff. All right. For those, yes.
David, a question.
Yep. Oh yeah, Cox, you made it.
So I have, again, obviously, if we are trying to call them, or if we get a call and if we need to connect with them, we obviously need to get our ducks in a row, our elevator pitch, and all of that kind of stuff, right? Not only that, have you thought about, hey, on the Zoom meeting, typically what the agenda should be, and are you covering that in this session, or are we talking about that at any point of time?
We're not in this workshop.
Yeah. Okay.
This workshop's all about the automation tools. Automating up to that point.
Okay. All right.
Good question. Any other questions on it? Okay, for those that are not utilizing Acquisition Pro to do any of this, God forbid, you can go. Or if you've already been onboarded and you don't need this, like Akash, then you don't need to be here for the rest because you've probably been through all this and seen it already. For those of you that are in the system and have not done your setup yet, this is for you moving forward. I figure we're going to go another probably 45 minutes to an hour at this point. I know we're already an hour and a half into this, but I told you we were going to go long today. But this is important. We got to get the onboarding done for those that need it. If you've signed up recently and you have not filled out the questionnaire to get into, thank you, Akash, to get into Strategic Acquisition Pro, then I need you to do that. You received 2 onboarding emails. One onboarding email was to get into the education resources and community. The other email was to get you into Acquisition Pro. Thank you, Kareem. Yeah, you don't need to be here. You and I have already done this. So if you have not filled that form out yet, you need to fill that form out so I can get you into Acquisition Pro. All right. For everybody else, pay attention. There might be a quiz later. I knocked us down to, they didn't get the homework. I should have given them the homework before I kicked them out. All right, we'll come back to the homework after we get done with Acquisition Pro. Actually, just in case you guys drop, here's the homework. I'll email this to everybody that dropped off. I should have done this before I kicked them out. So optimize your LinkedIn profile and business page, optimize your Facebook profile and business page, create a Facebook group if you don't have one yet. If you're ready, if you're not, you don't have to do it right away. Set up your Acquisition Pro account if you have not done so already. And for best results, purchase LinkedIn Navigator, Linked Helper, and Group Kit. Okay. All right. So that said, let's go to Acquisition Pro. All right. Invest a snapshot. So who do we have left? We got, Ivan just jumped on. Ivan, you don't need to be here for this. You missed the meat of everything. Watch the recording. The remainder is just onboarding the other 3 people that are left on here. You've had all this already. Or you can hang out and watch. It's up to you. Okay. So first thing is the mobile app. Yes, there's an app for that. It will have a connect button right here. Okay, this connect button will pull your phone number up and say, do you want to download it via iOS, Android, which I think are the only 2 ways you can do it. And you click on the one you want and it will download the app for you on your phone. Once you've got the app installed, your username and password that you were given when you signed up, which would have been your email address, and then your password would have been your last name at 2023 with your first initial capitalized. That's what I did for everybody. So make sure you change that password because it's really easy to tell I did that for everybody. That is what you'll log into the app with. The importance of the app is if you get a communication from someone, either via SMS or via email, you have the ability to respond to them through the app. So if you're not at your computer or if you're at the beach or whatever the case is, and somebody messages you, we know in the first 5 minutes, it is absolutely imperative that we respond back. Okay, you have 5 minutes to capture their attention. For every minute after 5 minutes, your chances go down for that prospect ever doing business with you. Okay, the longer you wait, it drops to 0 chance they'll ever do business with you. Okay, that's a long period of time, but within first 5 minutes, you have the highest chance of converting the prospect. So you need to be able to respond quickly. That's what the app is for. All right, so download the app. If you have a brick and mortar, meaning you have an office outside of your home, then you can connect with Google My Business. What happens is you will connect to your Google account, give it the information about your business, the name, the address, everything else. And what'll happen is Google will send you a postcard and mail it to that business with a code on it. You will then have to come back in here and enter that code so Google verifies that that actually is your business. At that point, they will connect you to Google My Business, which on the homepage, when somebody types something in your local area, then you have the ability to be on that first page as one of those businesses that is on the map that you guys see when you look for something local. For capital raisers, not that important. I'm just letting you know that that's available to do if you want to do it. If you have a Facebook page, a business page, you can connect your Facebook account, okay? You cannot connect your Facebook account if you do not have a Facebook page. There are a few reasons for doing this. One is monitoring your reputation on Facebook, and the other is being able to do automated messages on Facebook, which you'll be able to do later anyway, even without this being connected. The next one is a web chat widget. So if you have a website, then putting the web chat widget in there allows you to capture more leads by making it look like you have a live support agent in the corner of your website that will respond via somebody asking a question. It's extremely powerful because it actually does its messaging through SMS. So what I do on mine is I tell people, if you have a question, text me here. And I let them know it's a text. So if they enter their information, I ask for their name and their phone number. I don't need their email yet. You can ask for all 3, and it's okay to ask for all 3 and then ask what their question is. So what'll happen is they'll put that information in. You will then receive a message by your phone by either email or by text or both. The way I have it set up, it'll be both, that says, David Monroe, just sent a message through the chat widget. Here's that message. Now you can determine, is this spam? Because a lot of people will spam you through that. Or is this important? Is it somebody that actually I can help? And so once you determine that, you can then go into the app. Again, if you're not at your computer, you go into your app, go to conversations. That message will be in your conversations under unread, which is right here. And you will be able to see what they messaged again inside conversations. And now you can respond back to them and you start having a conversation with them via SMS. Even though you're on the app, they don't know that. They think you are using SMS to contact them back, and they think they're messaging you back and forth via text. So it's extremely powerful. Don't worry about Stripe. That's only if you're accepting payments online. So you won't be connecting that unless you are accepting some kind of payment online. Yext is it's a network of directories that you can put your business in. There's an extra cost for Yext. Don't worry about it. I don't even offer it to everybody because for the business we do, Yext isn't important. WordPress. Acquisition Pro is not ready to host your WordPress site, primarily because the cPanel has not been built into the back end yet. Until we have a cPanel built in, we don't need to be hosting anybody's websites. You need that cPanel. So leave it where it is. If you have a WordPress account, do not move it to Acquisition Pro. Okay. And I have to help you move it anyway. So just leave it where it is. It'll be fine there. For somebody that doesn't have a website and wants a website, you can build one right here within Acquisition Pro. So you don't need WordPress. Okay. And then add more team members here. Now, this is just a dashboard, quick way of doing things. The only thing you need to do from right here is install the app. Everything else is just, these are real quick steps to get you started. Okay. From here, I've already put a whole bunch of stuff into your system already. So if we go to opportunities, you will notice that you already have a pipeline built in. So you start as a lead. So when somebody comes into your system, if they come through one of the web pages and download the investor or the sponsor vetting checklist, they automatically get added to this opportunity. Now, as we're conversing with them, we can then just grab them and move them, or we can open them and we can change it right here. And of course, we can move them backwards if we want to. Update that, and now it is back here. Okay. If they schedule an appointment, they get a tag that tags them that they scheduled an appointment, and there is a workflow in there that will automatically move them to scheduled appointment. So let me just show you how that works. So if I come right here and I go to tags, which used to be right here, where's the tags? Well, the tag is right there, but we used to be able to add tags right there. Note, tasks. Oh, okay. So in this case, let's go to contacts. Let's go into the contact. Oh, I didn't have to go into the contact. So here's one way to add a tag. You can come down into the contact, and right here, I can add a tag. The other way, and the way you're going to do it primarily, is check the box here, and then this little icon says add tag. So I can add it here. So now if I come down here and I hit scheduled appointment, and you always have to enter an action, I always just put a number 1 in there. It's for tracking. Okay. Now my tag will show up here in a second. Boom, there's my tag. So now when I go to opportunities, it didn't trigger, which means we got to go to automation and fix the trigger. So add to sales pipeline, appointment, move appointment. It's published. Let's see. Let's go to set. Yep, I allow reentry. So we're good there. Contact tag, scheduled appointment. We're good there. Add update opportunity. Well, there's my problem. That's not added. So we want scheduled appointment. And all that's good. Save action. Save. Back to workflow. So now if I go back to contacts and I go into the contact and I remove that tag and I go back to the contact and make sure the contact is removed. It is now. Come on, computer, work with me here. There we go. Hit add tag. Let's try this again. Scheduled appointment. 1, add. Let it pop in. There it is. Now I go to opportunities and now it's moved to scheduled appointment. Okay, so it automatically moves it. So it's real easy to create those automations and then they're all done for you already. We just have to go through and just make sure they're all churned on. That's one of the caveats of the systems are here. We just got to make sure it's all connected properly and do all the testing. So others in automations, you saw the opportunities. Here's the automation. So as you come down, you'll see there's the add appointment scheduled tag. So when someone schedules appointment, they're automatically added with that tag. Once they get that tag, then it moves them from where they are to scheduled appointment inside the opportunity. When somebody comes through, and we'll see sites in a minute, one of your or comes through your opt-in form to download the investor vetting or sponsor vetting checklist, they get added to the investor workflow, which is, I think it's 6 weeks or 7 weeks. We got to get rid of the goal. If you go in yours and you see this goal, delete it. Okay. So you just go, if it says goal, go to delete and then delete with the top one. Do not delete all actions from here. It'll delete everything. Just delete the top one. Okay. That goal's got to go away or it literally cancels out the whole thing. So whether they submit a form, and the different forms are, there's one for investors, and then there's one for investors Linktree. So whether they submit a form on a landing page or they submit a form on your Linktree template, either one adds them to this workflow. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 6-week campaign, which is just an email campaign that has everything in here already, including the download for them to download that quick or the sponsor vetting checklist. So that's all done for you. You don't have to really worry about any of this. We just have to make sure it's good, active, and let's see. Yep, that's all good in your account. So that's how the automations work. And as soon as someone schedules an appointment, it will stop that workflow. There's also an investor SMS campaign. Here is the Fast 5, okay, that we talked about for the ads. So if they come in here, here is that Fast 5 campaign. There's the voicemail. Here's the call connect. Okay. The email they get, the conversational SMS that they get, waits 2 minutes. Did they reply? Didn't reply? Call connect, and then voicemail if you end up hanging up. Okay. So you can even send in another one, any questions, SMS afterwards. So this is that Fast 5 I was telling you about in the ad campaign. So all these are here. Okay. Just got to make sure that they're working and turned on. The SMS notification means if somebody responds via SMS, you will get notified by SMS and by email. Under sites, this is the funnel, the investor lead funnel. So if we pop that out, it's just a basic landing page that says, are you worried the money you invested with multifamily company is safe and growing? Download our free multifamily sponsor checklist so you can properly vet any real estate company that sends you an investment offering. Hey, they put in their name and email, click this, sends them to the landing page which is, or sends them to the thank you page, which is this one. Now, I have not created the video yet. I still got to create the video. Give me a couple of weeks. I'll get this video created. We can hide it in the meantime. Doesn't have to be here, but it's better if we have a video that explains how to use the checklist. And if they are looking to invest, schedule a call with us to see if our investment goals align. Okay. But if they click this, you'll notice, let's see, goes right to your calendar, which is already hooked in. And here it downloads the sponsor checklist. So it's already there. You guys don't have to add it. You don't have to create it. It's here eventually when it shows up, because my computer's moving really stinking slow right now. There it is. Okay. So all this is already done. I have removed all the roadblocks. Okay. So whether they fill out this form, because remember in the workflow, it said lead fills out form, investor, lead fills out form, link tree. This is for investor. And then if we go to websites, this is the link tree. Okay. So if I open this, here is the template. So you put your image here, not Walter Pinkman's, your name. You can schedule a Zoom meeting, send you a text. You can create a little video for them. Here's the download for the sponsor vetting checklist. Put in your name and email, sends them to that exact same thank you page. Connect with me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Okay. Privacy policy and terms already done for you. You just have to edit it with your company information. Now, you're probably thinking, why would I build something like that? Well, let me just show you. So if you've ever been to my website, davidmonroeccim.com, you will have seen this long, boring, ugly, red website that talks about a lot about me. Here's my new one. I preach what I practice. Practice what I preach. Okay. Now I'm not raising capital, so I'm giving them my download of my quick value calculator. All right. So I'm looking to build relationships with sponsors and syndicators and people like that, people that I can strategically partner with. So I use my quick value calculator download. Connect with my LinkedIn, my Facebook, or my YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Here's my privacy policy terms. Me, join my off-market club, send me a text, send me an email. Okay. So I practice what I preach. It literally takes less than 30 minutes to edit the whole thing. It is so easy to do. It's very intuitive. Okay. And we're going to talk about in week 3 about editing the landing pages and the link tree. Okay. The other thing we have in here is a template for a website if you want to create a website. Okay. So it's got the homepage, about us, services, projects, contact, privacy policy terms, all of it's here. So if we open this, again, it's just a template. Now, what do you guys think about this headline? Good, bad, indifferent, weak? There's only 2 of you left. You're not going to hurt my feelings, whatever you think about that, because I'm going to tell you how it was created. You probably are.
It's an attention grabber, I think.
So built into Acquisition Pro is anything where you're writing any kind of text. We are API'd into ChatGPT. That headline was built with ChatGPT. I didn't modify it, nothing. I told it what I wanted and it created me the headline and I said, okay, enter it. All right. So it's actually a really decent looking template. Just needs your colors, your branding, your information, your links, obviously, your logo, but it's a great start. So it's here if you want it. Okay. Not going to get into reputation right now. Memberships where the community will be moving to, the onboarding and training. So if you come here, there are videos in here now. Caveat, I did not create these videos. I bought these videos from a guy who had already created them that's been in, using a tool like this for many, many years. And you won't see these bottom three. These, matter of fact, the capital raising workshop is going to be housed right here once I get it all in there. But these are the 9 onboarding modules. So the first time you do that, if I go back, let's see, this is support if you need support. If I go back here, it should go to log in again. It did. So you just put in your email address that you signed up for your account with, your name, hit submit. It's going to send you an email to log in the first time with a username. And then it's going to open in a new tab those videos. Now, when you come back into the tool, every time you come back in here again, you do it exactly the way I just did it. You click it. It's going to say you've already purchased this offer. Why are you doing this again? Just click here to log in and it'll bop you right in. All right. So there's a little bit of a process for that. Here is your strategic partnering community, which is now called Acquisition Pro. So here's the Acquisition Pro now workshop. It's still called strategic partnering, but I'm going to be redoing this entire course in the next couple of months. So we'll be doing this again because I need to tie all this education to Acquisition Pro. So it is time to redo this. It's been a year since I've created all these. It's time to update it. Here are all the resources, the underwriting case study, and let's see, Mary Lou, you will see strategic acquisition method. Mike, you will not. Depends on your level of where you came in to the community as to whether you see this or not. But it's all here. It's all housed in one spot. And then here is the multifamily community, which is inside of Mighty Networks. Mighty Networks would not allow me to build into the iframe, but it is right here. Look, it's still showing us live. Woo! Okay, so there's our community. Mike, did you get in here?
Yes, I'm in.
Okay, good. All right, so everything is housed right here within Acquisition Pro now. We used to be, Mike, before you showed up, we were fragmented. We had the education was on one website, the community was on another website, and we had something else on another way. It's just everybody was confused. Nothing was in one location. So now we're all housed in one place.